Yo, welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be going over the top 5 defenders. Last week we did the attackers, and now we are doing the defenders just before this new season comes out. So these are in no particular order, so we're going to get started with the defenders. Now, as for the next season, guys, this thing is going to be coming out here soon, and we're going to be having videos in the coming week. We're able to play it now as content creators. We're able to play the new season. So obviously, they're going to play it, they're going to reveal it, then we could show it to you guys. So we'll have a bunch of videos in the coming weeks of the new season. But until then, we're going to be doing this defenders list. So we're going to start off with number 5. We're going to start out with one that's very obvious and work our way up. And this obvious one for me has to be Maestro. So just like Zofia in the last one, Maestro is one of those guys that's always been in these top 5 lists because there's just no debate about it. You have the 81 bullets or 82, whatever it is now, LMG, and you also have a great gadget. If we were to make a list of the best anchor in the game, it has to be Maestro. Like, he has to be the best. He is only good for anchoring, and you could do plant denial, intel, plus slay out with your 81 bullet magazine. The only thing I have to say about Maestro is you don't have that ACOG sight anymore, which was insanely OP. That's when he was number 1 at everything, but it's still very, very viable, very, very good, and so well-rounded. Even as a secondary gun, you have the Bailiff, which is able to make rotation holes. So you have pretty much everything in your wheelhouse. You could do everything: intel, rotations, plant denial, slay. So this is the obvious one. We don't really have to talk too much about it. We're gonna go into a second one that is quite obvious as well, since they've been changing droning and everything over the past year. Pretty much all of year 5 and year 6 has just been changing of droning, changing of little things, very, very minimal changes over these past 2 years. We haven't even received a new map, unfortunately. But with that, an operator that has really flourished and became one of these top 5 operators over this past year and a half is Mute. Mute has been really, really good. Either if you like the shotgun and the SMG 11 combo, or if you like the MP5K, no matter what you really do with Mute, it's always going to be good. And with the new pinging features that the game has allowed into the game from drones, it's very necessary to have a Mute on the team to destroy the drones. Now, I don't think it's one of the best operators for doing any sort of like wall denial. I think you're better off with Calibre or Bandit, but it still leaves the option to do that if you want. But mainly, I would use this for drone denial and intel denial. If they can never get their drones into any part of the site, you're at a very, very, very big advantage whenever you're talking about your anchors in the game. They could be sitting anywhere. They're never going to get droned out of their place. And I would say Mute is probably the best support operator whenever you're talking about the defensive side of the game. This is going to help out everyone on your team. If they know it or not, it's helping them out. They might not actually recognize it, but you're helping them out regardless, and you're helping yourself out, and you also have a pretty good loadout. So that is our 1 and 2, Maestro and Mute. And now we're going to go over to our number 3, which is one that you guys might disagree with, might agree with. I don't know. I think she is very good, and that is Thunderbird. So Thunderbird has a pretty standard loadout. You got the Spear 308 and the Bearing 9, which is just decent, but you have the impact grenades, C4s. But as for the ability, this is just one of the things that they've been doing a lot. They've been kind of running out of ideas. At least that's what my thought is, because we've had a lot of like kind of repeat operators, and this is one of those repeat operators that pretty much made the original operator look like trash. Like, Doc does not look good anymore because of Thunderbird's ability, which is the Kona station. So this is the station where it's gonna instantly heal you whenever you walk into the radius. That is absolutely crazy. So you could get overhealed, rehealed, whatever. If they ever change the game mechanics to the point where it's not a one-shot headshot, this operator will be by far the number 1 operator. Now, I don't think they'll ever do that in like changing one-shot headshot, but as for lower ranks, whenever you're talking about people that don't headshot a lot, you're always getting banged up, going down in health. You just walk back into these stations and they overheal you, and then you go back out. That's just something that the defenders or the attackers do not have. So you're always at an advantage when you're in a defender and you're actually using these stations to your advantage. That's the main thing here. If you aren't going to use these to your advantage, go run like a slaying operator, like the next operator that we're going to give you here, because if you aren't using this, if you aren't using your gadget, there's no reason to run an operator like this with a below average weapon. I don't think the Spear is anything special, so I'm not going to pretend like that's the reason you should run the operator. The operator is 100% for the gadget, similarly to Mute. So now we're going on to number 4. This one is going to be one that is going to be changing in the next season. I can't tell you why yet. I'll be able to tell you once the new season releases and you get the patch notes, but there is going to be a change with this operator, but it's Valkyrie. Valkyrie will still be a great operator, don't get me wrong, but there is a weird change to it. Now, okay, Valkyrie does have the MPX, which is pretty bad. This is an operator that's 100% for intel, runouts, spawn peaks, anything like that. where you could use the cam, run out, anything along those natures, is exactly what Valkyrie flourishes in. Now, if you want like Valk cam spots or anything, I have a whole series on Valk cam spots, so you could go watch those videos. They're still pretty much up to date, except the maps that have been reworked. Obviously, those ones aren't, but they give you a good idea of how you should be playing Valk with those spots. I'm not really going to touch on it much here. All I got to say is you run the C4, you run the NPX, and you'll do pretty well with Valkyrie. Valkyrie is very reliant on your map knowledge, though. If you don't know where to put the cams and you're putting them like in sight, that's pretty useless in most situations. You want to put them places where you can work around them, play around them. Think about choke points, put cams there, and then you're able to actually run out on people, get an advantage on people because you know exactly where they are. Siege is entirely a just say intel game. If you know where people are, you would win every single round. That's why hacking seems to be such a prominent thing here. So for us players that aren't hackers, this is probably our best alternative. So we have our 4, and now for the final operator, this one is going to be Aruni. Okay, so we have Maestro, we have Mute, we have Thunderbird, we have Valk. None of those really have that dominant, I guess Maestro, but none of those have the dominant submachine gun. And that's what Aruni is. You have the P10 Roni, or you actually have the only DMR on defense. Those are your 2 options there. Now, I think everyone should run the P10, but Aruni is absolutely dominant for being able to just cut off parts of the map. But the thing I really like about Aruni is you get to absolutely kill utility. It's a utility burner. So as you guys know, you have to throw something or a drone or your body into the Syria gates to have them disable, which is the lasers. So once these things do disable, you can always re-enable them later in the round, but they have to throw stuff in there just to be able to burn the gate. So I almost put this as an alternative to Jaeger in a sense, at least on site. But that leads me straight into the honorable mentions where I didn't put Jaeger or Bandit in this list. There's some other operators too that I didn't put in this list, but I didn't put those 2, and those are the ones I'm expecting other people to question. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that, but the main reason is Jaeger has been absolutely destroyed. But the problem with Jaeger is you absolutely need one in most situations. I just didn't put it on this list. It very well could have made it on this list instead of the other operators, but I did want to put new operators in here. They're always the same operators here, so I want to give alternatives. And as for Bandit, kind of the same thing there. He just didn't really fit onto this list. Still one of the best operators in the game, but did not fit specifically onto this list. So that rounds out our top 5, and that is going to be it. So it's Maestro, Mute, Thunderbird, Valkyrie, and Aruni, and then a few honorable mentions there. And I'm sure there's a few more that you guys could leave down below. Let me know what your honorable mentions are or your top 5 list is. I'm guessing a lot of you probably don't have like Aruni in it, or even Thunderbird for that matter. But I'm curious to see what your current top 5 defenders list is. I'm sure they're probably all similar, but let me know down below.